Hey everybody, and welcome to the bonus episode of SCP Containment Breach, the video that's going to contain the remaining fun facts about this game that I thought were worth sharing, after I either discovered them off camera, or remembered that they exist and remembered that I never actually mentioned them in the main series. This is a series I did a while ago by this point, so if you'd like to watch the original playthrough to gain context on this game, I do recommend it, as this game is very cool, or you can try playing it yourself, that too. I'm not sure what happened there. Anyway, we're gonna start with none other but the menu. My screen game is a little too high. Let me just take it back down to normal. I could tell because the game, turning up the game gamma brightens literally everything, including the menu and the documents, and it sucks. It sucks for the documents because it's so bright you literally can't read it. Alright, anyway, this is going to be a very info-heavy video, so it won't be featuring a ton of gameplay, so expect me to, like, sit in places and talk a lot. That's how my bonus videos tend to work, but, for the moment, it's not going to be as much like that because I'm going to start a new game to show you around the intro a little bit more. The intro sequence is very well developed. There's a lot of little things about it, and the first thing is that if you do not pick up the paper and read it, specifically if you do not read it, the guards actually take longer than normal to show up. You have to read the document in order to make their arrivals much faster, and I think I will, just so that, you know, I'm not sitting here for forever trying to make this video. Look at how tiny this toilet handle is, though. Like, what the hell? And the sink faucet, is this... Like, look at how huge the sink is, and then the tiny faucet, or how huge the back wall of this toilet is, and the little handle, tiny handle. Also, a table with no chair. How am I expected to use this for anything? Anything at all? This is a prison cell, so of course there's gonna be no amenities, but like, come on, what's the point of having this table? Is it just for me to sit on? If only you could jump in this game. I have to click into the window because my mouse was going out of the window just then. I'm trying to jump right now, instead I'm giving you guys flashing lights. Let me not do that. Okay, actually, you have to read the paper for a while. There they are.
Hey, they've got some work for you. Do me a favor and step out of your cell.
I'm good. I'll just go back to bed. How about that? Is that okay with you?
Look, buddy, I don't have all day. I'm trying to be polite about this. If you don't step out of the cell, I'm gonna kick your ass.
I think I'm okay.
You have got to be the dumbest test subject we've ever had. Oh well. Shut the doors and open the gas valve.
they are already doing it. You didn't even need to tell them anything. They were gonna handle it just fine. Subject D9341 found dead and data redacted. It was the cells. You can say its name, you know, in your reports. You don't need to redact everything. Cause of death, suffocation due to decontamination gas. There are indeed unique death messages through this intro sequence. One bad thing about dying in the intro, which is entirely possible, there's a lot of ways you can die in the intro, is that you were unable to save during the intro. And because you're unable to save, if you do die, you have to redo the whole thing again, or just choose to skip past it, which is entirely possible. The main reason why I wanted to play through the intro again is to show you that the dialogue is different pretty much every time.
By the way, we're authorized to kill any disobedient test subjects, so don't try anything.
Even there, he said we're authorized to kill instead of we're authorized to, exterminate. Also, just for the sake of making editing this video not a headache, I might not be including subtitles this time around. Hope you're okay with that.
Please report service tunnel A.
So the PA announcement is different, and the music that guy's listening to is different. And their conversation is the same, but they do have a lot of conversations. If you want to see what they all are, you can visit the wiki page about it. That'll probably link in the description, or go through snooping through the game's sound files if you like.
Really?
All personnel.
Wow.
Motivational seminars are held in the faculty auditorium from hours 17 to 18.
Motivational seminars? Can't wait!
All the instructions, and you'll probably be fine. Oh, and by the way,
Another little detail is you can also disobey the guards by running away from them. And if you do that, they might say this upon killing you.
I'll get rid of the body. You can go and fetch me another one.
The voice actually, like, gets distorted, supposedly, because you're losing consciousness over time. It's a nice little detail. By the way, I chose Euclid mode. Can I save here? I cannot save in this look. That's not supposed to be happening yet. Hold on a second. Actually, no. 079 is already in control of the facility. Never mind. We have a recycling bin up there, or a trash can or something. I never noticed all the details. That's Security Chief Franklin over there announcing for you guys. I never actually pointed that out before. All I really need to say with this part, first of all, if you stand here...
Direct eye contact with SCP-173.
Wait, what the fuck?
173 ignores you. And then, if you stay inside his chamber when the third lights go out for the third time, you will get killed by him, and that's the main way that it's possible to die to 173. If you get killed by him at this point, this is the death message that you get. Also, here's what saving on the Euclid mode is like. It uses a different save noise. Not really sure why, but it's there. Finally, if you decide to play a little hasty at this part, say you want to get a move on with the game, Agent Ulgrin shoots you, and, you guessed it, unique death message. Subject D9341, cause of death, gunshot wound to the head. The surveillance tapes confirm that the subject was terminated by Agent Ulgrin shortly after the site lockdown was initiated. The two people there in that room running away are Security Chief Franklin, who did the announcements for you guys in the chamber, and Agent Ulgrin, who escorted you to the chamber. So, very cool how, like, those two seemingly unimportant voices at the beginning of the game are actually kind of important characters in the game's world. I really like that. The vents of the ceiling are clipping into the wall there. There's no, like, borders on them. I think this ceiling texture was meant for a slightly larger room than what ended up going in. Whatever. Alright, now I've got a bunch of minor things to show, and so I'm going to show them one at a time in whatever order I choose. But in order to make this a lot easier for myself and to not spend as much time doing it, I shall introduce you to cheats. I've already used some of these. You have your usual no clip and God mode, which I'm gonna enable God mode, but there are actually a few more beyond that I want to try. First of all, you can teleport to whatever rooms you want, though you have to put in the room's ID internally, and it's not always clear what that name is. Possible you might be able to see it with this, though. Any room that appears in rooms.ini is a valid param. Okay, so yeah, go read the file to find the room names. I think one of the more interesting cheats to me, is wireframe. This turns every texture in the game into its wireframe version, or at least like the wireframe of the walls. I'm not exactly sure how this works. It shows the wireframes of the 3D models, and in the process, it makes every single texture transparent. And this includes the texture for blinking. As you can see, I'm blinking right now, but I'm not actually losing vision. You know what this means? What room is this, by the way? The frick room is? Oh, this is the surveillance room. Okay, that makes some more sense. This, playing a game like this is really weird, but really fun. Look at that. That's like... That's very aesthetically pleasing, surprisingly. Pretty sure that's supposed to be smoke. Okay, here we go. Here we go. This is perfect.
To the southeast wing. Follow me.
Did you hear that? I hope it wasn't.
That's exactly how that scene is supposed to look. They just both dropped out immediately, and then if we blink... Yep, we can see 173 moving. I've God mode on, so... Hey, buddy, I'm here. Want to come get me? Oh my god. I love it. I love watching him just rush somewhere. Oh, he opened it. Thanks, buddy. And then, no, I don't like that. Okay, fine, you can hug me. Yay. Alright, this one's gonna be as startling, so prepare. And then the game plays the sound when I unblink, even though I already saw him there the whole time. Using this, we can see just exactly how fast 173 moves. This is 173 moving at you. It's fucking creepy. Anyway, that's enough having fun with that. That's enough fun we're having. For another little tidbit, which I can show thanks to this command... Halloween. Whenever you play the game on October 31st, which is Halloween, 173 has a jack-o'-lantern face. Look at him. And I think, like, his little ear spots go away a little bit. He just turns orange in general. That's about it. But it's a nice aesthetic change. I don't think anything else in the game changes for Halloween. 173 is the only one who feels the Halloween spirit. Another sheet is no target, which I believe causes enemies to... Fucking hell. Okay. It prevents enemies from seeing you. So 173 no longer sees me, so now he's just going wherever he wants. Yeah, this is what he does normally. He picks a location in a nearby room and then rushes towards it whenever you aren't looking at him. And interestingly, this also turns off your ability to stop 173 from moving by looking at him. I like that. I believe not every enemy works like this. Where'd you go? I went all the way down there. Oh my god, that's actually kind of cool, seeing how he moves around whenever he's off screen. Anyway, I don't believe this works for all enemies. In particular, 096, I believe, still chases you even with no target on. He's on the bench. How are you... Okay. But otherwise, most enemies, including like 049, Nine-Tailed Fox, whatever else, still work normally. I'm gonna keep no target on as I go because I may as well. I feel like it. Aha, there's 372 activating as he's supposed to. Yeah, that's just a bug with custom maps. Now that we have the radio transceiver, I should point out that there are a few radio broadcasts we never heard, so I'll play them for you right now.
Mobile Task Force Unit Nine-Tailed Fox is being prepped for entry. Hang in there. This will all be over soon. To everyone still inside the facility, stay in the evacuation shelters. Do not try to make it to the exits no matter how close they are. The shelters are your best chance of making it through this. To everyone still hearing this, reality-bending events are common during containment breaches of this magnitude. Do not trust your senses. Do not trust anyone or anything.
That last one is the normal version of the creepy message that we heard when, hi 372, when we passed through 970 that one time. Ah, now we get to see this event play out properly for once. There we go.
It's just a list.
So with this event where the janitor guy gets pulled down to the ground, if you stay in the room long enough afterwards, 106 is supposed to spawn afterwards. At least he's supposed to. I don't know if he will. And that's why I wanted to get the hell out of Dodge as soon as that event happened in the main series, because, you know, I wanted to avoid 106 chasing me as much as possible. 106 chasing me is not for the faint of heart. That said, though, I never actually showed what it's like to be caught by him, so... I'm tired of waiting. Let's just get on with this. The fuck? Okay, he is spawning in like normal. Look at his eyes floating above his head when you get far away. It's just a little visual effect. All right, 106, show everyone how you work. Why are you getting confused at the doorway, sir? It's just a doorway. You're okay. Look at how creepy he is. He's wearing some kind of vest too. Not sure what that's about. Oh, I have God mode on. Yeah, I know. Watch out for 106. You got it. There we go. It's just like, are you gonna turn it off now? Okay, yeah, you just get taken to the pocket dimension. Nothing that special. Except I hear him breathing with me. I don't like that. I don't much appreciate that. I think he will do this. Okay, he's spawning in the middle of the room now, and I don't know why. I think he will do this. Ow. If you spend enough time in that opening room. So you better make a move on. Better choose your hallway fast. Here's the death message that I did not show the other time. What's up? Okay. We zoom out. If we fly above the 970 room, we can see it is 3 hallways right next to each other, and as you go through them, you get teleported to the other side, and I think the doors are forcibly closed as well. There's also a little thing that can happen in this room, which I'm not sure if I'm going to be able to show it off, but if 173 is nearby, these doors actually lock. So you are unable to go through the 970 loop, and this is probably to prevent bugs from occurring. Doesn't seem to be happening right now, though. Oh, look who's deciding to work now. Fuck off. Yeah, that bear caused me so much grief setting up the main series, and yet now he works in the randomized maps. Because, of course, now he has to work properly when he couldn't before for whatever frickin' reason. Alright, we have arrived at my destination. Oh, actually, before I move on, a little fun fact about this sound file. The sound file of the body being dropped. At the very end of it, you can faintly hear 106 laughing. Which just outright confirms that that is him throwing the body down. Like there was any doubt about that, of course. I realized that I actually have yet to be killed by these guys. And when they act like that, I mean, it's pretty obvious how I've never been killed by them. Okay, when they get you chasing, they're actually kind of fast, though I still outrun them. Anyway, let's see your message. God, with a mouth that big, you could eat my entire head all at once. My bad, sir, forgot to disable God mode. All 4 captured SCP-939 specimens have been captured and recontained successfully. I just totally misread escaped as captured, my bad. 3 of them made quite a mess at Storage Area 6. A cleaning team has been dispatched, and just in case you don't know what the number 3 is, they put it in parentheses for you. While we're on the subject of Storage Area 6, there's a little fun fact about this place that I've yet to go over. Storage Area 6 used to be very different when it was first added to the game. It used to be just this area with all the boxes. Once you got to this point, it would turn around and there would be the other elevator right there. You wouldn't have to go through both this room and then the rest of the place beyond that point. So Storage Area 6 was smaller, but it was also a lot harder to get through because there were actually 2 939s encircling this area instead of just the one that we have now. Yeah, right here it's just this guy running the whole show by himself, when there used to be 2 of them. And in fact, the death message in those older versions said 2 of them made quite a mess at Storage Area 6. Going into that amount of detail is something I sincerely respect. Also, this is a shaft where if you fall down it, you die. I feel like I should point it out, because it is there. It is a threat to your safety. Don't do that. There's no death message for it, because they never found your body, I guess. The wireframe sheet ruins the illusion and reveals that the other elevator is right on the other side of this wall. This is such a weird room layout, man. Why would you design a room like this in the SCP facility? Oh yeah, the box containing the 012 scroll actually lowers itself down when the door opens. Never showed that because it took me forever to enter it. I can't seem to get this little pause thing to trigger. I thought I read somewhere that it was bound to having 173 around, and specifically 173, but honestly, they may have removed this whole thing, where the game unpauses itself and says, "Stop trying to hide," whenever you're near 173 and pause for too long. Hello. Yeah, I don't think it's a thing in the vanilla game anymore. It used to be. Older versions of the game had it, but either it's bugged now, or they just removed it. My next couple topics involve this mask. So, one thing I'd like to point out. Upon this initial visit with the church and all the people standing inside, I hope none of you guys out here get mad, because I want to go to church too. They are actually faintly singing choir. It's not easy to hear. In fact, honestly, I don't hear it right now. But it is still there. Yeah, it's like very faintly coming from like this side of the room. Hard to notice, but... And now they're after me. Let me just do that. There we go. And now in the empty room with just one person, I'm going to let you listen to the isolated audio of that choir because honestly, it's awesome. And it might just be the most remote SCP Containment Breach music ever. I was not aware you could go up here. Alright, while I walk around this place for a little bit, I don't know if there's anything to see, but it's cool that you can go up here. I did not know that. I'm gonna tell you a story. A story that I cannot verify if it's true, but I swear it's a possibility. There was one time I was playing this game in the past. I put on this gas mask, and I was surrounded by the 1499-1s. I mean, I spawned in, and they were all standing in a circle around me, like, trapping me. They were all just looking up at the sky. They weren't attacking me just yet, but they probably would have had I waited there too long. I don't know if this is actually a thing that can happen. The wiki doesn't mention it, and I don't believe there are any videos on YouTube about it. Maybe I'll go looking for one, but I don't know if it's some rare random occurrence that can happen where upon entering this dimension, you could be surrounded by them. Oh, the bridges between these are very rough. Here, I'm gonna take this on and off for a little bit to see if I can get it to happen. But I also may have been like dreaming about it. I may have imagined it. I don't know if it's actually a thing, but you never know. It could be. God, the more and more I look into this SCP, the cooler it gets in my eyes. I was actually surprised to find out that it was one of the less liked SCPs upon first being written. Where, like, the first few comments being made on it were like, this was just okay until the last paragraph. That's where it really sold me. And I was like, I thought the whole thing was cool, but alright. Where the last paragraph basically reveals that the dimension inside the mask is technically Russia. Again, I recommend reading the article. It is very interesting. Can you guys stop making such loud sounds? Freaking me out here. Why not? Hello. That was instant. Alright, I tried a lot of times and couldn't seem to get it to happen. Might be like a 1% chance or something, or it might not even exist and I was just dreaming about it, but I wanna know, if there's any SCP fans remaining, could you verify that that's the case? That those guys sometimes surround you when you enter it? It's probably somewhere in the source code. I could probably just go look for it, but, you know, it's fine. Alright, next topic. A little thing about Tesla gates. When the Mobile Task Force are in the picture, they can actually disable Tesla gates as they encounter them. Somehow this never happened on my custom map, I guess because the route they happened to take through the map didn't have any Tesla gates. But yeah, we never actually heard it. If you're close enough to the task force as they're doing it, it's possible for you to hear them going like, hey, disable this Tesla gate.
Nine-tailed fox to control. Requesting the disabling of the Tesla gate nearest to our position.
And then, Control will respond over the intercom.
Control to Nine-tailed fox. Tesla gate disabled.
I'm not sure if this permanently disables the Tesla gate or what, or probably just temporarily disables it for them. But yeah, you normally hear that happening all the time in randomized maps, but in my playthrough, it just never ended up happening. Also, if you're wondering why this person's dead body is here, let me just show you the clip. Well, that was quite a way to enter. Hi, 066, I didn't expect to see you here. There's a couple of drinks from SCP-294 that I should have remembered to try and order. In order to actually order them, though, I'm gonna need to try spawning in quarter. Does that work? Okay, that does. So let's do that, like, yeah, there we go. 3 more times. Perfect. Firstly, Cup of God. That does not sound very good, does it? The interesting part of this is... Are we gonna have Yeah, okay, we're just gonna have an explosion. Cool, got it. Literally got it. The weird part about that, there is no Cup of God in SCP-294.ini. I don't really know how the Cup of God can exist in the game then. Let me actually check real quick. I think we've seen this? Oh, I see. This actually further proves a theory I have about how SCP-294 works that I'll get into after respawning. So, I believe the Cup of God was once a drink you could order, and drinking it would give you God mode. At some point they removed it from the game, probably because they decided having a drink that lets you cheat their game wasn't the greatest idea. That being said, they removed the Cup of God from the game, and yet I still ordered it and I blew up? Well, that's because I just searched the INI file right now, and I used Control F to search for the word God, and it turns out The 0 Point Energy drink's name has an alternative name of God Particles. Let me investigate a little bit further. I knew it! I knew it! SCP-294 has an autocomplete system. Whatever characters you input, it scans for what the first name that matches those characters in the file. And also, the name that is put on the cup is the same as the characters you entered, even though this should be a cup of milk. And it was a cup of milk. I didn't just drink a cup of mother-in-law, I drank a cup of milk. With this in mind, I should be able to order a cup of something. Alright. I don't think there is just a regular cup of something in the game. Yeah, so, okay. That drink was the drink known as Something to Destroy SCP-682, which is a giant explosion that vaporizes the facility. Recon teams sent in at Redacted show that the entirety of Site Redacted was vaporized, save for a 5-meter radius of unarmed area in the facility cafeteria of Sector Redacted surrounding SCP-294. I tried to order this in the main series in a cut, but I was unable to type the name correctly. In reality, all I had to do was type something and the game would take care of the rest because the autocomplete feature. It is for this reason, this autocomplete system, is the reason why the Cup of Life, which would ordinarily heal you, now kills you. The drink that's supposed to kill you, with that weird reference to whatever it's referencing, is known as the Cup of Jewel of Fire, but it has the alternative name Life Force. And that drink is earlier in the list than the Cup of Life. So when you type in life, the game scans through all of the names in the list in that file, it finds Life Force, thinks you're trying to type that, and gives you the wrong drink. Thus, the Cup of Life is unobtainable without editing the file. I can't believe I fucking called it. I was seriously just like assuming. I was speculating as to how that could happen, how a bug like that could be in the game, how the Cup of Life could possibly go unobtainable, and I was just like wildly guessing, and I can't believe I got it right. Well then, let me move on to the next topic before I natter on any further. Alright, I won't judge. I won't question it. It's Containment Breach being Containment Breach.
One of the many evacuation shelters inside the facility.
Thank you for your information. Now, this picture. I failed to point this out earlier.
Control to 910 Fox. Has the gate deactivated. You may now pass.
Congratulations, you guys finally did that thing in the bonus episode. We're so proud of you. This is a picture of someone named Larry, and it is assumed that this is where the whole Radical Larry joke for 106 came from, this photo. I don't know any more of the story beyond that, but that's why it's in this game. And that's what it's referencing, so, there you are. While we're on the subject of the PA system being such loudmouths about how cool Nine-Tailed Fox are doing, I should mention that the whole, like, Control to Nine-Tailed Fox, we are now scanning the cameras for potential threats, is actually a mechanic with them. They are looking at the cameras, and if you're in the room with a security camera, you'll supposedly be spotted, and that'll, I guess, make it easier for them to track you down. Thing is, the Nine-Tailed Fox AI is so shitty that this mechanic doesn't really exist.
The gate in your sector is now idle. Proceed safely.
Yeah, this is how it's supposed to sound normally. I'm gonna try this again to see if it'll work this time. Maybe last time the game was so frazzled at all of my freaking 914 refinements that it didn't want to work. But last time I tried to refine 420J, they ended up disappearing, and it seems the same is true this time. Okay then, not really sure what to do about that. I wanted to show those items in action. Okay, well, I can just spawn them in with cheats. Good to know. You are unable to get lit. Okay, that's all it seems to say. What about another one? What's this? How about this one? I am unable to get lit. Okay, never mind. So this is the item that you get upon putting, or you're supposed to get upon putting 420J through 914, but it seems to not work properly. It seems to delete the item. So let me also try spawn item joint. There we go. Okay, perfect. Thank you for having simple item IDs for these ones for once. What was I doing again? Man, I need to take a nap. Subject T9341 found in a comatose state in data redacted. A subject was appearing what appears to be a cigarette while smiling widely. Chemical analysis of the cigarette has been inconclusive, although it seems to contain a high concentration of an unidentified chemical, whose molecular structure is remarkably similar to that of tetrahydrocannabinol. I'm assuming that's a real word. Also, if you're wondering why 914's room ambience isn't playing right now, it's because I haven't opened the door. The 914 ambience starts playing once you've opened the door. But now, watch me fly. I wanted to get a good look at this map, just so I can see. This is actually a... Wow, look at this heavy containment zone. Very strange looking. Is that a mobile task force guy? Oh, hello. It's you. While I'm at it, this is a perfect segue into this. On screen shall appear the remainder of the drawings that little guy Teddy Bear can give you in these rooms. Anyway, what was I saying? Oh yeah, this is a very oddly laid out heavy containment zone, but I did want to confirm to myself. There's something that randomized maps do all the time that really get on my nerves, like those announcements, and I wanted to see if this map is unfortunately at fault. Oh, yep, looks kind of like it. So you see those past two zones, very compact, a lot of options for how to traverse them. And then you see how this zone, by comparison, not really. You have like, okay, so we have hallway here. Let's see what's this way. Okay, here's the forest. Now, what's past this? There's no corner room past this, so unlike most of the time, the electrical center is not actually past the woods. But I have a feeling the gates are, yeah. Here's gate A, and is this gate B over here? No, actually. Okay, so this is an exception to what I was about to talk about, which is that fucking the randomized maps and how they generate the entrance zone can really, really get on my nerves. Before I get into this, there are a couple of minor topics I want to take care of first, but yeah, I'm about to go on a rant in a second. Congratulations, guys. I think we just passed by, but you remember Dr. Maynard's room. For entering it, you get this note. In older versions of SCP Containment Breach, the beta versions before the backstory line and the lore was fully completed, you got this note instead. It's pretty great. Like, if you could manage to find your way inside, you got a reward. Not the actual reward that's gonna go in the game, but a reward. Before I leave, I may as well say, fun fact, I was planning to play Euclid mode for this playthrough, and I actually did play Euclid mode in what I'm going to call SCP Containment Breach The Lost Episodes, but one of the reasons why I chose not to is not only because with the way I was going to be playing through the game, safe mode would just be way more convenient, but also having one of these screens open, you can save at these screens as well, and it has the little press F5 to save blurb of text at the bottom the entire time. I didn't really want that, as you could probably imagine. Okay, good, the electrical center is out in the open. This is a good randomized map. I mean, it really is. The rest of the map looks great, so this is a good seed. Remember this seed in case you also have a lot of grief trying to get an actually good and playable map. There's a little something that can happen, where if you trigger 096 and then exit out of the gates, the game will prevent you from escaping in a special way, and I kind of want to get that to happen. Let's see how he works. Okay, he stands up from the ground and then starts walking around when you spawn him in with commands. Cool. I'm gonna have to no-clip through this door because at the moment I can't open it. This might not work properly, but I'll try it another way. So let's trigger you, and then before you can possibly do anything, no-clip through. No-clip through. And then we exit. Oh. Oh, he actually can get through shit. Hi, 096. Ah. Alright, I guess if you cheat your way to the elevators before you're supposed to have the gates unlocked, they just don't work. Cool, good to know. Bye. 079 was like, what the fuck? Can you take a guess which room I'm teleporting to? The electrical center, obviously. Why is it called that? Room 2C? I don't want to pronounce that last word. Okay, now that the stuff works as intended... I have to say, I kind of prefer 096's old animations with the sitting up there. Now he just kind of jerks into place whenever you trigger him, and I miss the way it was originally. Okay. So, there's supposed to be like a special sound effect that plays. Let me blow the game, stop him from screaming. When you like try to take the elevator to escape, you're supposed to hear a sound that sounds like this. And 096 would kill you straight afterwards, but I'm wondering if they just made it so that the elevators don't work, or this is a bug now. Okay, yeah, the elevators just stop working when 096 is chasing you. Makes sense. You used to be able to make your escape out into the gates with 096 after you. There was one YouTuber who even beat the game that way, Bowling Otter. But now they've removed that. You cannot escape if 096 is after you. There is an imposter among us. Boom, dun, 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 dun. Sorry, I don't know what I'm doing. One little thing to mention, wearing the hazmat suit will prevent you from being killed by SCP-049 in the same way as SCP-714 does. In that, once he touches you, he'll say, "Stop resisting," and eventually will take the suit off and kill you. So you better not spend too much time next to him. I completely forgot to mention in the main series because you're not really gonna run into it in normal gameplay. Okay. Allow me to talk about this damn forest. First of all, it really annoys me that when the MTF come through here the first time, the nine-tailed fox, they actually close one of the doors, so now this room is inaccessible. You wanted to read these documents? I hope you didn't, because now they're inaccessible without cheating. So that's a little piece of jank I'm not a huge fan of. But more than that, I think in order to really explain what grinds my gears about the random generated maps in this game, I gotta take you over to MS Paint and draw a diagram, like the best streamers are known for doing. I guess in this case, YouTubers, because this isn't a live stream. Whatever, close enough. Alright, so here we are. I'm gonna draw a simplified diagram of the map of SCP Containment Breach. So here's the start, this is 173's chamber, and then this is kind of what the, like, containment zone looks like. So you have, you know, a big long hallway, might like go into a corner like this so you can put 1162 there, because I think 1162 has to generate on every map. Then you have another big long hallway stretched horizontally from the view of the SNAV at least. Then you have some hallways connecting, maybe even a third one. It all depends on map generation though. Might have a hallway that like goes down here, you know, something that looks like this. Then, up here, this is the top of the zone, so we have rooms that connect into the heavy containment zone, if they feel like it, and then the heavy containment zone is structured very similarly. You got two hallways with a bunch of connections in between, and sometimes a corner that either dead ends or meets up with the rest of it, like so. And this is all very, very good. You have a lot of options for how you traverse the facility at any given moment. The facility branches out in so many pathways. Now, some of these three-way rooms in the light containment zone's case could be the 939 storage area 6 elevator, in which case it's not as easy to get through, but still. You get the idea. The VAT layout is very open, but still interconnected, and you can traverse in whatever way you want to. Here comes in the entrance zone, which very often is just a straight line. Sometimes going into a corner like this, sometimes branching out into like one little dead-end room, and let me redo that. Yeah, there we go. One little dead-end room. I'm gonna add the borders between the zones so you can see them clearer. And also, I've had this happen all the time, where there's only like one valid checkpoint entrance into the next zone. This can happen with heavy containment zone too, and every time it's such a bother, because whenever you want to change zones, if you're over this way and these two checkpoints right here are invalid, which I'll just like, you know, put a white blotch on them to indicate that, now you have to run all the way back here just to get back to light containment zone, and that's super annoying. But it's especially bad with the entrance zone, and it's because of the frickin' forest. Say the forest is like right, that's the eraser. Say the forest is right here, and then at the end, this little thingy, and right here is the electrical center. Assuming the map looks like this, This means that in order to finish the game, you have to cross through the forest multiple times. You have to go there once to turn off the remote door control so that you can find 079 who's waiting over here, for example. Then you have to actually exit this wing of the map by going back through the forest, because there's no other way out of where you are, without cheating, of course. Then you have to talk to 079, go back to the electrical center, which means a third time through the forest. And then if you're extra unlucky, these two things right here are the gates. This is gate A, and this is gate B, meaning the gates are on the other side of the forest, so you have to go back through a fourth time. If I had $1 for every time I got a randomly generated map that was built like this, I could probably eat at a fancy restaurant. Which I suppose isn't much, but there's only so many SCP Containment Breach playthroughs I've ever done, you know? The reason why I think this is such a problem is that the forest, from what I can tell, is such an RNG nightmare where it's entirely down to luck or just correctly guessing the path through the first time, because, like, I do not know how this place works. I'd really like to know if there's an actual consistent strategy of getting through it, because to me, it just feels like you have to find the end in time, and if you don't, you just die, and there's nothing you can do about it. And so it's all down to luck, and because the forest is randomly generated as well on every playthrough, that means you have no idea what its layout is, so you just have to guess and hope you get it right, and I freaking hate that. This wouldn't be as bad if there was a way to circumvent the forest, like if you could type in a code to unlock this door, but there is no code for this door. As far as I know, there's no code to unlock this door, either of these two doors, so you have to go through whenever you're faced with this room. Facilities being built like this with the random generator is the main reason why I chose not to play on a randomly generated map for my playthrough. Honestly, this is most of the reason. Another part of the reason is that, for instance, the light containment zone could be structured like this. Like this. I've had a couple light containment zones that look like this in my Keter runs. This sucks as well. This takes way too long to traverse. Like, you're over here and you need to get over here, and that's all that way you have to go. Like, sometimes the facility can have just such bad layouts, and I really feel like for a randomly generated game, that's not a great thing to have. That's one of my main issues with this game, is how the random generator builds its maps, and it sticks to trends like the entrance zone being so small, and you having not many options of getting through it, which is a big problem if the mobile task force are in this area. Like, even if the forest wasn't here, let's just pretend the forest wasn't here, like it was over here guarding the way to A, kind of like how it is in this map. Even still, the mobile task force could theoretically spawn in a room like this, camp there the entire time, never leave it, and now you just kind of have to run through and hope you don't die on your way to the electrical center, and then you have to cross through them a couple more times beyond that. This is actually what pushed me to make the custom map that I did. I was so tired of having the game giving me such shit maps that I made my own that was actually good and gave you options and gave you other ways to traverse them. So hopefully the mobile task force shouldn't be able to camp anywhere. And then they ended up camping outside of 079's chamber in my playthrough, because that's just my luck. This document on this whiteboard is a reference to how the SCP documents used to look in older versions of SCP Containment Breach. They got a little overhaul, I believe, in the 1.0 release, but this is how they used to look. I'd say their design has absolutely improved looking back at it. Also, I'm not sure what this document is about, but it seems like that's real text, so yeah, I'm not really sure. For just a couple more little tidbits, right here, this is a checkpoint that, according to the navigator, does not properly connect to the entrance zone, which is something that is way too common, can I just say. Anyway, in case a checkpoint room spawns like this, you'll have a keypad that has no code going to it on the other side, awaiting you. Normally, when a room doesn't have another room attached to it, it'll spawn like a black void in place of the door, but those ones actually do have doors, so that's cool. Well, it appears SCP-895's chamber hasn't spawned on this map. Didn't generate properly, I guess. I thought it was required to have every SCP, but yeah. This is also why I wanted to play on a custom map, because something like this could happen and we could miss out on an entire SCP. What I wanted to show is that the SNAV navigator actually starts glitching out when you're around 895's chamber. I don't believe I ever pulled up the navigator when nearby that chamber in my main playthrough, which is why I never noticed that and why I forgot to mention it. But yeah, since 895 has an effect on technology around it, it affects your navigator as you get near. I love that detail.
Guys.
Oh man, I actually got them to say something. Hey, halt! Since the nine-tailed fox appear to be out of the way this time, I decided to come back and revisit 173 after he's contained. He is contained, right? Well, that's awkward. I guess they didn't expect to come back here. I accidentally set my mouse DPI really low. I thought this door was closed. Oh, it's okay. He's still gone. Before I move on, I've never seen anyone use this cheat before. Debug HUD. Alright, so yeah, this is a little thing. The developers obviously use this to help debug the game, but yeah. MTF 0 position, MTF 1 position. This gives you a lot of information about like various things in the game. Is that the blink timer going down? Okay, yeah, that's the blink meter. There's stamina, death timer, injuries, and blood loss. That has something to do with being hurt. I am planning to make videos in the future that talk about various mechanics in this game and how they work, if I can find out how they work, because this game is open source, so really, I could just like go in and read the code and see how stuff works, if I can understand it though. There's also this, I don't know what this is. What is this? What's this yellow box? I don't know, I'm not really sure. Anyway, yeah, this is pretty cool. So I think if 173, hold on, let me see if I can get him to be uncontained. They just immediately caught him again. That's actually really funny. You guys are surprisingly good at capturing 173. All the rest of your AI has to suffer for it, though. While I'm here, I should probably show this off. Nine-tailed fox will shoot dead any 008 infected zombies that they come across. You won't have many chances to see this in the main game, especially with how borked their AI is. I'm sorry, I have to keep digging into their AI every time. It's just how I work. I need to keep insisting on it. I don't. I just choose to anyway. But yeah, just a small detail with them that I thought I'd throw in there. Alright, taking us back to the beginning of the game reveals a little bit more information about the tracking of SCP-173 and 106. So you can see there, SCP-106 state... Shut the fuck up! Okay, thank you. That is actually showing the countdown timer before 106 spawns in. It decreases very, very fast, might I say. And it also kind of shows where 173 is, except not really. I think it might show more information as I go, though. Hello? I did not know you were there. That's funny. Anyway, this is 970 room, isn't it? So I can show this, actually. Yeah, the door locks when 173 is inside this room, so since you're teleporting as you go through the infinite loop, that could cause a lot of problems. This is very cool. I'm glad I checked out this debug mode. I like looking at it. Alright, now that I've been over all of that, let's take an adventure outside of the game for our final few topics. First of all, I think it's about time that I show off how I went about creating a custom map for this game, and I did so with the map creator right here. Let me boot it up real quick and show you around. So here's the main map grid that supposedly every single SCP Containment Breach map takes place on internally. And this is the list of all the rooms. This isn't the most user-friendly tool ever, but it's nice that they included it, and I think it is cool to be able to create your own Containment Breach facilities. Now if we open the file, here is my map. You can see all of it from a bird's eye perspective. So all of these little rooms are all of the rooms we've been walking around in the entire playthrough, and as you can see, they also give the ability to start a room event, such as 096 spawn, which just puts 096 inside the room, and has a 60% chance of occurring every time it's triggered. The game will let you edit any room events and the chances of them occurring any way you want to, even though there are some events you should include, like this one, because otherwise the game apparently freaks out and doesn't work properly if you don't have this one, so Here's the forest layout. You can see I kind of structured it like Slender. Here's the maintenance tunnel layout, whose layout is inspired by Pac-Man. And finally, you have the 3D map viewer, where you get to view how your rooms fit together in a 3D space. I think you can also edit them with this, but I don't know how to. I can select rooms, and then I can't seem to do anything with them, so yeah, I don't know. Either way, it is a good idea for you to go into the 3D map viewer and see what your facility looks like if you choose to build a map. Because the map creator does not prevent you from putting two rooms too close to each other and overlapping them that way. And as you can see, this room might look very small, but this is 106's containment chamber, which is probably the largest room in the entire game. So if you put another room down here, that it would easily overlap with it. So just every now and then, as you're putting your map together, go into the 3D map viewer, make sure none of your rooms are overlapping, or else a myriad of issues could happen. You could have invisible walls, or rooms unloading while you're in them because the game thinks you're somewhere else, etc. We can actually use this map creator to see a couple of fun facts. First of all, the Omega Warhead silo is actually above the room that you used to enter it, so you're not actually going deep in the facility, even though that's how it's supposed to be in lore. In universe, I mean, not in lore. We can also see 049's chamber is directly underneath. This is room 966? Wait, what? This is 966's chamber? Sure, whatever you say. Okay, it is right above, but like, why is that down there? Okay, well, good thing that didn't overlap. I think the position of 049's chamber actually depends on where this is placed. I could be wrong about that, though. Here's storage area 6, way off in the distance. Indeed, it is placed underneath the room that leads down to it. I think that's the usual case for those sub-level areas. I don't know what that texture's doing there. The game needs to store that above the room for some reason. Finally, the rooms in which 1123's little event takes place are just right above the chamber. Even though it feels like you're being warped to a completely different dimension, you're really just being taken 2 feet up. I like that. And now a bird's eye perspective of my masterpiece, except the rooms unload as you get far away, so you can't actually capture the entire facility in one, but yeah. I don't know how to put this map up for download somewhere in case any of you want to play. If you would like to play on this map, if you have any interest in that whatsoever, do let me know and I'll see if I can find a way to put this custom map up for download, because I don't really know how to do that. And now for the final topic. All of SCP Containment Breach's sound effects are actually chilling right here in the game files. You can just grab them and use them for whatever. It's why I've been able to play so many sound effects from this game in my recent videos, because they're right here, I may as well. While most of the sound effects don't have any metadata whatsoever, some of them do. And I'm gonna show you the most interesting ones, or perhaps the most entertaining ones. First thing is the save sound effect. That one? It has the album name, I Took This From Homestuck, lol. So I guess this sound is from Homestuck? All I know about Homestuck is it's a webcomic that Toby Fox composed music for before making Undertale. In the folder of horror sound effects, the only one that has metadata is this one, which has the name Spiral 3 times. It's this sound effect used in those rooms that secretly turn you around, and then they play the sound effect to go along with it. I wonder if this has any kind of connection to the lore for D9341 and the spiral gestalt and all of that. That's mainly why I thought it was interesting. Like if you scream and cry every time. Hi, sound bank. Why is this one sound effect? Why does this one sound effect have sound bank in its metadata? The shrieking sound effect of 1048A, I'll spare you from having to listen to it, has the title, It's All Ogre. I don't know. Then in the music section, some of these have Kevin MacLeod mentioned in them, because a lot of the music in this game, a lot of the background music is actually by Kevin MacLeod. But what's most interesting to me is the Pocket Dimension ambience. Its metadata is filled with 106 for the track number, title, contributing artist. 106 composed the ambience, I guess, and the album name. Not only that, but this track has a unique album cover with this image that also says 106. How many people know about this? because I just found this completely on accident. I have no idea if this is a well-known thing, so that's why I'm kind of excited to make this video. I want to know if anyone else knew about this, because this was kind of cool to see. I don't know what significance it has. It's just the pocket dimension ambience, and they decided to fill it with 106, because he's a creepy dude, I guess. It makes sense, but yeah. Otherwise, I don't know why this is here. Alright. That is everything that I wanted to go over in this bonus episode. I hope you enjoyed. Sorry if some parts were a little bit boring. This is how I usually do bonus videos. I just kind of go over the topics in whatever way I can, and then in the end, the video gets made, and that's the important thing, right? I think I'll end this video with a little story. I alluded to this earlier, but this is actually not the first time I tried to make an SCP Containment Breach playthrough. I tried to make one all the way back in 2022. I only got 2 episodes in before quitting because I also started to play Hollow Knight around the same time and then got sucked into doing that, and then I never went back. And so this new SCP playthrough was like me returning to the game after all that time, giving it another shake and actually like completing it this time, which I did, and I'm very glad that I did. Because this series was always going to have super highly edited videos, at the time I thought, hey, why don't I start a YouTube playthrough of Hollow Knight and do it at the same time? That way, I have something easier so I can upload in between the SCP videos, which will take more time to come out. That resulted in me pretty much only recording Hollow Knight because it was the easier choice, and it was always the more interesting one, the more appealing choice at a given time. Thus, I abandoned that original playthrough after episode 2. But hey, I came back and I finished it after all this time. And no, me putting this SCP Containment Breach before my second Hollow Knight playthrough is not a coincidence. I chose that on purpose. Those old videos aren't public anymore, but I do at least want to show some of the footage from them, because in that older version of the playthrough, I was doing this weird thing where, like, in the middle of the video, I would exit the game and talk about some outside topic in a highly edited section. I decided that kind of broke the flow of the playthrough, and so I didn't do that for this playthrough, because everything that I was explaining, I could easily just explain in the video myself. And that's what I did. But those sections of the video did take me a long time to edit, so I don't want the footage to go to waste, so I'm going to show bits and pieces of it here. And this actually brings me to another topic that I almost forgot to mention. The difficulty in this game. We can see underneath custom settings, we have save anywhere. If you turn this off, this is just Euclid mode. If you turn this on, this is just Keter mode. Aggressive NPCs is actually something that Keter mode activates, and it causes 173 and 106 to spawn a lot more frequently, and I think the other SCPs as well. I'm not really sure. By a lot more frequently, I mean a lot more frequently. Just watch my SCP Keter playthroughs to see how frequently. Then there's this, other difficulty factors. This is set to easy, normal, or hard depending on which of these 3 you choose. This is easy, normal, and hard. What do these do? I believe it only really affects a couple of things. For one, it affects NPC speeds. I can actually use the footage I edited together way back in 2022 to show. 173, 049, as well as I believe 049, 106, and 939 move a little bit faster on the higher difficulty factor settings. And in addition, these higher difficulty factors affect your chances of getting higher level keycards from 914. That is, you are guaranteed to get a level 3 keycard by putting a level 2 in on fine on easy mode. On normal mode, you might get a MasterCard instead, and on hard, I think it's like a 1 in 3 chance of getting a level 3, or maybe a 1 in 3 chance of getting a MasterCard, I'm not really sure, but anyway, the chance of getting a level 3 goes down as the difficulty increases. Which is a little weird of a thing to do, like, oh, now you have an increased chance of getting nothing from your upgrade. I'm not really sure I agree with that point of logic there, but that's how they built the difficulty, so yeah. Also, one last thing about the map creator. If you make a really small map and then boot it up in the game, you'll find that the game will be running a lot faster than it should be. I think this is a result of the game having such a high frame rate from how few rooms it has to process. Everything ends up running like twice as fast. You could probably fix this by just capping the frame rate in the settings, but I never tested that, but you probably could do that, like, okay, frame limit. Yeah, like do this, 20 FPS. Okay. Okay, with that now talked about, that exhausts every topic that I wanted to get into this bonus video. Thank you very much for watching this video, and the rest of my playthrough, if you did. And before you ask, I might try playing SCP Containment Breach Ultimate Edition or Director's Cut, those mods that add more content to the base game to make it like an even more complete experience than it already is. I might try it in the future. It won't be a Let's Play, it'll be like a special video, but that might happen. I just wanted to stick with the vanilla version for this playthrough, and now I am done talking about the vanilla version. There's basically nothing left for me to talk about, so yeah. I really hope you enjoyed this playthrough, and this video. And as always, I will see you all in the future.